Hey, Dan Coachimilio with NorCal Sports Network, and tonight we've got a video on why the Giants should not trade Bryce Eldridge under any circumstances. Well, maybe one or two, and we'll get to that in this video. But first, let us thank our sponsor of this video, Chapman Law Group. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin. Give them a call for all your legal needs at 415-613-9483. All right, guys, let's get into this video. Why trading Bryce Eldridge, the Giants' top prospect and one of the most dangerous young power bats in all of baseball, would be franchise malpractice. And yes, we're going to dive deep into this, stats and some comps, projections, even a comparison to Aaron Judge. That's right, I said even a comparison to Aaron Judge. Let's get into it. All right, everybody. We are here talking about Bryce Eldridge, the 6'7" left-handed monster, the number one prospect in the Giants organization, and a top 25 prospect in all of baseball. Whether you look at MiLB, Baseball America, he's right there, top 25 and higher, and way higher than that in some places. There have been rumors, speculation, some chatter about whether the Giants should consider moving Bryce Eldridge for pitching and for a more established star major league bat. All right. Let me be very clear about this. Trading Bryce Eldridge right now would be a huge mistake. And I'm going to explain exactly why I believe that would be a huge mistake. Who's Bryce? Well, he was drafted in 23, as most of you know, as a two-way player, but he quickly established himself as a full-time power bat. He's 6'7", 240, and plenty of room in that frame to put on some more weight, which kind of Aaron Judge did. And I'll show you some stats coming up comparing the two. He's got left-handed power. He's got 70 grade raw power, which is, the best you can get is 80. He's got excellent plate discipline, and I think he plays perfectly for Oracle Park because he can hit both ways to left field. He can drive it out in right center. He can drive it down the line into McCovey Cove. This guy can spray the ball around. So he's the Giants' top prospect in years. We haven't seen a prospect like this. And recently, Marco Luciano just yesterday was waived, and everybody says, what about Marco Luciano? Well, Marco Luciano never had the home runs that Bryce Eldridge had in his minor league career. And I'll show you a little graphic here at some point in this video where Bryce hit 25 home runs last year with an injured wrist. All right. Okay. So what has Bryce done in his first 3 seasons? Well, he's had 939 at bats in the minors, 279 batting average, an on-base percentage of 360. In fact, you know what? I'm going to pull up these numbers. These are pretty darn good numbers for a guy who just turned 21 in October of last season. He's performed at every level, low A, A-ball, double A, triple A, and made a brief cameo appearance last September in the big leagues. But let me show you what I'm talking about when I talked about his numbers and comparing him with Aaron Judge. All right, now take a look at this. This is Bryce Eldridge first 3 years in the minors versus Aaron Judge's first 3 years in the minors. Look at the at-bats. Aaron Judge has him beat by roughly 360 at-bats almost. The averages are almost identical, 279, 278. On-base percentage, pretty close there too. Judge has him beat barely by just 1.3%. Slugging, Bryce has him beat by about 4% right there, okay? 512 to 473. The OPS, Bryce has him beat there too. Home runs, Judge only has 2 more home runs in like 360 more at bats. And the RBIs, Judge had more RBIs. All right. So as you're looking at this, let me pull this down here and get rid of that. And oops, hold on here. I'm messing up here. I got to hit it there. There we go. I was hitting the wrong button there. Okay, so you look at the numbers, and it's pretty close. And here's the thing I want you to think about, guys. You're saying, well, he's no Aaron Judge. Well, he's 4 years younger than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge did not become his first debut was in 2016, had like 95 plate appearances in September, and he was 24. He was 25 his rookie season where he mashed 52 homers. So Bryce Eldridge is 4 years younger, and he's already putting up as good or better numbers in the first 3 minor league seasons that Judge did. So Bryce has tons of room to grow and develop. Okay. So I think they're pretty darn close when it comes to the numbers. Am I saying that Bryce is going to have a career like Judge? I don't think so. Maybe, but this is why you don't trade him. You don't know. He could be even better. We don't know. So I just think trading him would be foolish. He's the first elite homegrown power bat in years. When's the last Giants power bat that came up in the system? It's been ages. I mean, Will Clark, you probably got to go back to 1985 draft when Will Clark came up, and he's not the power bat or threat that Bryce Eldridge is. So it's been a long, long time. All right. You don't trade that. You just don't trade that. He fits the Giants' competitive timeline perfectly. Reason number 2, he's young, he's cheap, and he's under team control for 6 full seasons. This is how you build sustainable success. This is what the Giants did in the early, 2000s with those drafts. And I'm going to get to that at the very end. And that core built 3 World Series championships. And the Giants are building another young core right now. Reason number 3, his hitting approach is advanced beyond his years. Great discipline, big time, exit velocity, a low chase rate. These are traits that stabilize quickly and predict long-term success. At the end of the season last year, he hit 107 in his 10 games he played. And some people are saying he's a bust. He only hit 107. Well, if you understand the game, he had a really good plate discipline, which shows his maturity. And he had a lot of balls that were hit very, very hard. My goodness. I mean, people got to just relax and let this guy develop. Reason 4, the optics and messages to the fan base. You're trading Eldridge now would just scream panic and impatience. Keeping him singles confidence in the future and building a young core. You've got to build that core. You got Jashar Gonzalez coming. You got guys like Bo Davidson, Dakota Jordan could hit. They've got other guys that are coming up. The next year, they're going to sign the #1 international draft for the 2nd year in a row. And this guy's already projected to be a 30-30 guy. Yeah, there's no way I'm thinking of trading this guy right now. Reason 5, the risk of regret is absolutely enormous. If he becomes a 40 home run beast in another uniform, you'll never live that down, period. You'll be regretting that for many, many years. Remember when the Giants traded George Foster, and he was a little bit older than Bryce is, but he went on to hit 52 homers, I believe, the next year or two, became MVP with the Cincinnati Reds. You don't trade guys like that. You traded Orlando Cepeda because they didn't have a DH back then, and you got rid of Cepeda because you had McCovey, and there was no place to play them both. But Cepeda went on to become an MVP with the Cardinals, and then win the, became a World Series champ and, Hall of Famer. You just don't let go of these guys, especially a 21-year-old. Okay. Now, some people say, well, what would you consider trading him for? What would you ever? You can't just say you never trade him. He's completely untouchable. Well, there's 2 scenarios. All right. Scenario A true frontline ace with multiple years of control. Now, Tariq Skubal, he doesn't have multiple years of control. He's going to be a free agent. Now, if Scuba was coming and he agreed to an extension, yes, in that case, I would do it. Paul Skeens, yes, I would do it. He's got 4 more years of control. Hunter Green, yes, I would do it. He's got like 4 more years of control, 3 years plus a club option for the 4th year. So in those cases, yes, but it's going to cost you so much more than Bryce Eldridge to get a Paul Skeens. It would cost you Logan Webb and Bryce Eldridge in the trade machine to actually duplicate what the numbers are for Paul Skeens. So Hunter Green's going to cost you more than a Bryce Eldridge too. It's going to cost you a couple of really good prospects. So tough to say that you would do it, but that's one reason I would do it only. The other one would be a scenario B, a young established superstar hitter that has control. Okay. Someone that's still in their 20s and that has years of control, basically a unicorn. Who would that be? How about somebody like a Ronald Acuna? I don't think the Braves would do anything like that, but Ronald Acuna comes to my mind as a guy that's got years of control left. He's inexpensive and he's a superstar. Okay. So the final verdict, Bryce Eldridge is a franchise cornerstone in the making. He is exactly what the Giants have tried and failed to develop for years. A homegrown, middle-of-the-order bat with superstar potential, and people want to put him in trade talks for just some pitcher, because they think that's what the Giants got to do to get him over the hump. You don't trade him, period, okay? You build around Bryce Eldridge, all right? And one more thing that I want to add about this. Just because the Giants drafts haven't produced anybody in the last several years, you can go back to their World Series years where they started like 2013, 2014, the drafts, nobody's really produced. They've either been traded or DFA'd like almost every year, all the way up. So that's not the reason you trade a Bryce Eldridge, though, because everybody else failed. We've heard it. The Giants never hit on prospects, right? Might as well trade them now. That logic is completely backwards. If anything, the fact that the Giants haven't developed a true star recently is exactly why you hold on to Bryce even tighter. He is the exception, the breakthrough talent. And remember, it wasn't always like this. In the early 2000s, the Giants drafted and developed Matt Cain, Tim Lincecum, Madison Bumgarner, Buster Posey, Brandon Belt, Brandon Crawford, and also international draft, Pablo Sandoval. That homegrown core won 3 World Series titles. Bryce Eldridge has the potential to be part of the next homegrown core. So no, the Giants' past misses aren't a reason to trade him. They're the reason you absolutely do not. All right. So let me do this in closing. Drop your thoughts to me in the comments below. I read them. I try to respond to as many as possible. Would you trade Bryce Eldridge? Be honest. And if so, for who? All right. Make sure you smash that like button as this gets out to more people. We appreciate that. If you hit that like button, gets more the algorithm helps it grow, and it gets it out to several more people. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. We're right here, NorCal Sports Network, giving you Giants coverage all season long. So we appreciate you watching this video. Make sure, again, hit that like button, and we will catch you on the next one. Take care, everybody.